Okay, Insane Game Freak here. Here comes another Insane Manga Corner. What are we dealing with today? What is this? Rosario+Vampire. Another vampire series. Oh, she has pink hair. It's a harem. Oh, that seems a little interesting. Oh my God, repetitiveness. No. Oh, this is gonna be fun. So, yo, what's up, guys? The Insane Game Freak here. Another Insane Manga Corner. We're dealing with Rosario+Vampire. I originally recorded this video like 3 months ago, and it fucking failed. So I'm re-recording it again. Because honestly, my progress with the show hasn't really changed except for like one volume, and that didn't do much for me. So to just briefly explain, this isn't a full series review. This is literally just kind of 7-volume impressions, because I believe the first season of the manga series is like 10 volumes, and like the second season is currently ongoing. I think they're currently I think Viz is like at 8 right now for season 2. But anyways, so what Rosario+Vampire is it's a romance shonen ecchi harem series that revolves around this boy named Sukune. Sukune is, as any other typical harem lead is, a failure. Kind of like he's kind of average. I say failure, but I mean to say average. I'm just so used to saying failure. He's average. Average leaning towards failure. And he can't get into any high school. The one high school he ends up getting into is a fucking monster high school, which he doesn't find out until like the first day. Ironically, on the first day, he meets this pink-headed girl, which you can probably guess is the chick on the first cover. Her name is Mocha. He finds out that Mocha is a vampire, while finding out this is a school for monsters. They do justify a reason why everyone looks like humans, though. Like, the reasoning why is because they're learning how to fit in human society. So every person who looks like a human, so everyone looks like a human because they're wearing human disguises so they can fit into human society better. Mind you, vampires don't really look that much different, but still. And Momoka's little joke or quirk is, for one, she seems to be very addicted to Sukune's blood, and which I'm not a huge fan of neck biting, which is why I don't really fuck with a lot of vampire series. I hate neck biting. That shit bugs the fuck out of me. I'm not a fan of that. She likes Sukune's blood, and she has this other gimmick where she has like this rosary or cross for you religious folk that she can ever take off, because if she takes it off, she turns into a vampire form. Now, when I say she can't take it off, I actually do literally mean she physically cannot take off the rosary. The only person who can take off the rosary is someone else. And for whatever reason, Sukune, ironically, can take off the rosary, and she turns into like badass Mocha, who is like this white hair, more developed vampire badass. Now, to really talk about the harem characters, I'm not going to go too much into. I'm just going to kind of name them, and then we're just going to move the fuck on. The second harem girl will probably be Kurumiyu, which is like this succubus with blue hair. Honestly, she's my favorite out of them. She's my favorite, and then my second favorite comes way later. Yukari, who is your lolly fan service. Mizorde, who is this ice apparition, and she's probably my second favorite of the girls. And then like they indirectly mention like these other chicks like Ruby, who is like a witch, another witch. I believe those are the only ones I know of right now. And this is how I treat Rosario+Vampire. I'm not judging it on an epic scale. I'm judging it as a harem. I'm comparing it with Sekirei, because that's a fair comparison. They're both shown in harems. The biggest problem with me personally with Rosario+Vampire is not even the fact that it's bad. It's just the fact that it has that same issue that a lot of harems have, and people don't understand. For me personally, it's a very dumb thing. I've said this before. The things I like about harems are kind of the balanced relationships. a lot of harems don't do that, and Rosario+Vampire is one of those harems that don't do that, where they don't really focus on all the girls. They kind of like bullshit focus on like 3 of them, but the main focus is the main girl, and that's how Rosario+Vampire is. They only really focus on Mocha, and you'll get like mild development for like Kurumyu and like Yukari. Like, but most of the development only really comes from them being introduced to the series. Like, Kurumyu honestly has like it's probably the second least developed character out of them, because it's literally like Mocha, Yukari, Kurumyu, and then Mizore. Because Mizore is very new. She's only been in like maybe 2 or 3 volumes so far. I think she appears in volume 6, so maybe like 2 volumes from where I'm at. And I think they go through that same issue. The other problem is that like the first, until Mizore, around the time where Mizore is introduced, but like a little bit before it, the series is very redundant. The redundancy is essentially Momoka and Sukune will have some bullshit relationship issue. Some monster at the school will want to be fucking with both of them, and he will accidentally take off Mocha's cross. She will turn into the badass Mocha and kick the monster's ass. That happens for like the first 3 or 4 volumes, until the series gets randomly dark for no damn reason. It's a mild spoiler, but just it gets dark in the sense that the gimmick turns into something else. The gimmick was before Momoka turning into like her hardcore vampire stain kicking ass, and then it goes from that to fucking Momoka pumping blood into Sukune, so Sukune can become a badass vampire for a little while. And now, at the end of volume 7, we're at some shit now where he's turning into a ghoul, and I'm like, you know what? I'm getting so tired of this fucking. Let's just keep focusing with the main character and the main girl all the goddamn time. And it's really fucking annoying when they have like these epic not family, but like group-oriented issues, and those 2 are the only ones that seem to be like in any sense of real danger, because you have like these other side characters, like the other girls, and like Gin, who was like the only other guy character who originally was a dude that Momoka beat the shit out of. I keep calling her Momoka from like Skip Dance, but it's Mocha. Who's a werewolf, and he's a perverted werewolf, and blah blah blah. He's not really important because he doesn't. He has his merits, but he doesn't really do anything. In terms of the story, but then again, almost none of the characters do anything in terms of the story. It really should be called Mocha and Sukune instead of being called Rosario+Vampire. Actually, that's probably why it's called Rosario+Vampire, because it's all revolving around Mocha and Sukune. And it's not like the series isn't bad. It's bad, but it's just not. It's very underwhelming, and when I compare it to something like Sekirei or fuck even Mayo Chiki, I just prefer it. I just prefer those 2 shows than this, because this show is very biased with fucking characters, and I hate. Especially, and the funny thing is like Mocha is like has the same issue as a lot of leading females I've noticed. I can never, for most harems, for the exception of Mayo Chiki or like Sekirei, I never like the main girl. Even Mahaba Raho, I don't like the main girl. Mocha is okay, but I'm not a huge fan of her. As I said, Kurumyu is like my favorite, and then you have Mizore. Like, those are my 2 favorites, because Yukari plays off that stupid I'm a genius, but I'm still a little girl bullshit, because she's like a genius. She's a genius witch. I do like her little arc in the later volumes that revolve around the hatred witches get from monsters and humans, about how, because technically they're like the most human-like, and they're like the least monster-like, so like monsters don't really respect them that much, and humans used to burn witches back in the whole Salem witch trials thing, so they do make a reference to that, and I think her development was pretty well done. That's kind of where Ruby comes in too, but like it's not a bad. I mean, as I said, it's okay. But as I said, when I've seen better harems, I tend not to like these. Also because the series wants to get dark, and it gets dark way too fast and way too much. Like, literally, like, the beginning of it is really campy, and then you get to the fucking pumping blood into Sukune and then the ghoul shit, and it just gets really fucking dark. And I'm just like, this is way too dark than what it needs to be. I understand. I mean, I do like the variety of monsters that they use in here. Instead of just being campy and shit and using the most traditional shit. Like, they will use really weird, off, like, less known monsters. So in terms of, like, first impressions, even though I'm, like, 7 volumes in, it's okay, but let's just put it this way. If you've seen better shows, it's not doing much to really keep you interested. I mean, mind you, as I said, the last volume I bought was 7, and I bought that, like, what, 2 or 3 months ago. It's not a show that keeps you constantly intrigued. I think the only thing that really helped it for me, the reason why I even got to 7, was purely because I kept hearing it gets good when it gets dark. And no offense, guys, but it's not that good. And the anime counterpart is a little bit more campy. And I probably would enjoy the anime more, honestly, when I think about it. Because the manga to me is kind of a mess. But even the anime I don't really want to fuck with. Because I know the anime has some canon portions in it. Mind you, has a lot more filler. Like, it does more stereotypical harem shit, but as I said, it still follows that same stupid rule of I have a bias with the main female character, and there's really a romance between the main character and the main female character, but it's called a harem because you have 3 other girls who like him. I hate anime that do that. Well, mind you, Meo Chiki does that, but I don't know. I think it's because I like the main romance. Like, if I like the main romance, I can sometimes get away with it. Rosario+Vampire isn't one of those shows that can get away with it, even because I don't like Momoka that much. I don't really like Sakune that much, honestly. And I hate how every arc seems to revolve around those two, except for, like, the witch thing. The witch thing was the only arc that didn't have anything to do with it. And nothing really came out of Yukari's and Sakune's relationship. Mind you, it's a lolly relationship, so right off the bat, I wasn't going to be like, yeah, I want to see more Yukari. Like, out of all the females they could have done for that, they did Yukari. I mean, I think that's development in terms of a story, but in terms of me personally liking it, not so much. And I don't want this. I'm not trying to make this really negative because the show isn't bad. I mean, the series isn't bad from what I've read. It's just, to me personally, I wouldn't really be like, yeah, you should read this or watch this. I mean, because as I said, my bias kind of lies with Sekirei and Mayochiki. Mind you, you can't even fuck with Mayochiki in the States, but Sekirei, you definitely can. And most people who are fans of Harem probably have seen Sekirei. But as I said, it kind of falls at the same issue I had with Mahabarajo, where it's a good show, but that fucking bias with main characters really ticks me off. Especially if I don't like the main character that much. At least in terms of main females, and that's like the biggest issue with Rosario+Vampire. But if you're the kind of guy who doesn't really care about that shit, and you just like your main romance, you want to see some supernatural shit, and I say check it out. I mean, in terms of first impressions, it's okay. It's okay. It just depends on what you're going for. Me personally, I don't know. I might finish the first season, but I know I'm probably not gonna go into the second season because I don't really care for the story enough. That's really how I just don't think this is a harem personally for me. I think I probably would enjoy the anime more, and that's if I hadn't read the manga, and I did read the manga, so yeah, that's just me. But yeah, that's essentially it for the Insane Manga Corner for like first impressions of Rosario+Vampire. That's just my thoughts on it. Tell me what yours are. Who's your favorite character? As I said, mine's Kiryu in terms of the girls, and guys, you only get like 2 to choose from. I mean, they're introducing like some half human, half demon breed bullshit that I don't really give a fuck about. But like Sakune, I guess, because he's like the only male character you can give a shit about. Him or Gin, and I don't really care for Gin. I think Gin is okay, but nah. But that's just me. So as I said, put your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Tell me if there's anything you think, if it gets any better for those who have finished it or those who are further along than me. Because the last thing I saw was that stupid ghoul shit where you turn into a ghoul and he has to wear that stupid ass rosary or some type of chain around his arm which is supposed to connect him more with Mocha and some fucking symbolism bullshit. And he's like doing this shit for like the headman. I don't fucking know. I don't know. That's just me. But anyways, this has been the Insane Game Freak. What do you guys think about the show or the series? Is the anime or the manga better? Just kind of leave your thoughts and comments and video responses in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. Life's a gameplay to win. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace.